You're listening to Civic Media. You can tune into any of our live shows on any radio station across the state with the Civic Media app. Find us in your phone's app store and listen anytime, anywhere.
Good morning. Welcome to Matt Nair on Air. Jane Matt Nair, Greg Bach, Calvin Butenoff coming to you live from our studio here at Radio Park in Racine. Join us, call or text. The number is the same at 855-752-4842. You can also leave a comment if you're watching on the live stream on Facebook, YouTube, and what used to be Twitter. We got a lot coming up on the show for you today. Going to be very busy. Kristen Lyerly, Dr. Kristen Lyerly, joining us after 9:30. There is a report this morning that United Healthcare and Ascension Hospitals were unable to reach an agreement. And I'm not finding a lot of details out about this at this point. But Dr. Lyerly is going to be joining us after the 9:30 news to kick this around a little bit and talk about what this is going to mean for people in Wisconsin and people who might be already in the middle of a procedure. Yeah,
it's good to be prepared and be able to ask whether it's your hospital or whomever. But yeah, this is under everything. This flew under the radar. Yeah. Again, there is so much news that comes in on a daily basis. It's really kind of overwhelming. Yeah. In hour number 2, Darren Von Ruden joins us once a month. He's the president of the Wisconsin Farmers Union. Nothing to talk about with Darren. We're going to ask him about dairy farming.
Well, I think we'll talk recipes.
Kicking back what it's like, just on the homestead, looking out on the property. That's it. That's all there is going on. Nothing else in the world happening specifically for farmers.
Yeah, there might be some tariff talk in there. And also the elegant solution.
They all have elegant solutions.
Elegant solution. This is something that Ron Johnson came up with. Brooke Rollins, our agriculture secretary, has an elegant solution.
Oh, boy.
For our farmers not being able to sell their crops.
She had another one back in the day about farming as well a few months ago. It's just like, go work in the field. So I can't wait to hear what the new one is. It's going to be great.
It's very elegant. That's coming up in hour number 2. For the last half an hour of the show, as we always do, we try to lighten things up a little bit with a segment we call Audio Sorbet to get us away from the news so we can all take a collective breath.
Yeah.
We need it. Today's Audio Sorbet, what is the home chore that you're afraid to do?
Yeah.
And it can be a really small thing.
Mm-hmm.
I have discovered over the years, I have several phobias. I know, you're shocked.
Oh, boy. That's not on brand for Jane Matt Nair.
Yes, I know. One of them involves pilot lights.
I feel like you gave that one away.
Was that pretty much a giveaway?
Like that really wasn't.
There's another one, too.
That isn't what we call a tease.
It was a lousy tease. What is the home chore that you are afraid to do? Mm-hmm. Again, it could be a really, really small thing.
Yeah.
But I would like to think I'm not the only one.
Oh, well, you're not, because I have them as well.
You have them, too. All right, that's coming up after 10:30. If you're not going to be able to be here, feel free to text it in right now.
Yeah.
And we will make sure and share that when the segment comes around next hour. And then we'll wrap up the show, as we always do, with This Shouldn't Be a Thing, as the Worm Turns edition.
There you go. And if you can't listen, you can't stick around, you can also download the episodes from the Civic Media website, civicmedia.us/shows. Look for Matt and Nair on Air. Find the episodes you want, download them to your device, and listen to them anytime. And you can also download the show as a podcast.
Yes.
So that way, if you can't even be here, let's say you can't listen 9 to 11 every Monday through Friday.
You have a life.
You can just subscribe as a podcast. It gets delivered to you twice a day, every hour, or 3 times if you want. This shouldn't be a thing in your life, as well as its own standalone mini podcast. But there's tons of ways to listen, even if you can't do it live on regular live radio.
Even if you're traveling, even if you're out of town, even if you're out of state, even if you're out of the country.
If you are standing on the International Space Station right now, you can listen to us. You're welcome.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
You can listen to us. If they can get a signal, they can listen to us live on the app. This is what I want. I want someone on the ISS to be able to listen to Civic Media.
And text us.
If they have the ability. And text us. Or if you're a fan of podcasts and you're traversing through space and time even.
That'd be great.
You can do that. We'll just be in your life. We'll be here with you, for you, always together. Always.
All right. It is underway right now. We only have 3 days left.
That's right.
Today, tomorrow, and Friday for Civic Media's multi-state Text to Win Go for the Green and Gold contest. Like I said, it is underway, so here's what you do. Grab your phone, open up the Civic Media app. You do have to have the Civic Media app. Don't email us, please. Don't email us the word. Don't put it on the live stream. That's not going to help you, unfortunately. The word to text in via the Civic Media app is wind. W-I-N-D. Wind is the word. Text in the word wind via the Civic Media app. Right now, you have until 10 o'clock this morning. You're in the running for our daily prize, and I'm pretty sure with the way things are going economically, we could all use an extra $200 in cash. Little gold jewelry would be nice.
$200 to get like the groceries and some gold jewelry to feel fine.
So you can be styling when you're at the grocery store.
Yeah.
And then you're in the running for the grand prize. 2 club level indoor seats to see Green Bay in Minnesota, November 23rd at noon. We give you a gas card, too, to get you there and back. It's pretty great. It's worth $1,550. Wind is the word. W-I-N-D, not win, Joyce.
There it is.
In Menominee Falls. Try it again. It's wind. W-I-N-D. Wind is the word. Again, you have until 10 o'clock this morning. And then Tom Hartman will have a new word for you from 11 to 12. Again, between 1 and 2. Join Todd on the 3 o'clock hour. Maggie Dawn in the 5 p.m. hour. Pete Schwaba wraps it up at 7 p.m. Right now, though, the word is wind. W-I-N-D. Civic Media's multi-state text to win contest. Good luck.
Good luck.
Enter. It's fun. Doesn't cost you anything either. Yeah, it's shut down.
Yeah, we're shut down, folks.
We are shut down. The government shut down about a minute after midnight.
Yeah.
I think it's important just to remind folks that at least one person has pretty strong opinions about whose responsibility it is when the government shuts down.
Yeah, it's a very known voice, famous voice.
I think you'll recognize this
person.
Yeah,
we have a clip of this very famous voice. Calvin, can you play that clip?
Who's going to bear the brunt of the responsibility if indeed there is a shutdown of our government?
Well, if you say who gets fired, it always has to be the top. I mean, problems start from the top, and they have to get solved from the top, and the president's the leader, and he's got to get everybody in a room, and he's got to lead. You know, the interesting thing is in 25 years and 50 years and 100 years from now, when the government is, when they talk about the government shutdown, they're going to be talking about the president of the United States. Who was the president at that time? They're not going to be talking who the head of the House was, the head of the Senate, who's running things in Washington. So I really think the pressure is on the president.
Donald Trump, from just a couple of years ago. What year is that from? 2012?
That was from 2013.
2013.
That was from 2013.
Donald Trump. Strong opinions about who is responsible. If there's a government shutdown, it's the president.
Yes, and I really find it. I find it very funny that he talks about like in 25, 30, 50 years, all that stuff. It's funny because we may not remember who the Speaker of the House is or the Majority Leader, even though that's Mike Johnson and John Thune, respectively. But what we can remember is that in 2025, when the government shut down, the Republicans were in charge of all of the branches. And pretty much, and it's safe to say, we can say with clear confidence that it is the Supreme Court as well. It is a conservative court. What's funny, Jane, though, is to me, and is that I'm really feeling, I'm getting vibes like it's like retro for me. Because this is what it feels like in 2018 when the government shut down for 35 days, which is the longest in history.
I'm just trying to think. Donald Trump was president during that shutdown, wasn't
Donald Trump was president.
He was.
The Republicans were in charge of the Senate. They were in charge of the House of Representatives.
Oh, yeah.
They were in charge. So I guess, I don't know, 2013 Donald Trump. If this is like a multiverse thing, Avengers thing, where you're going back in time, I guess if we talked to Donald Trump in 2013, he'd probably say, fire me twice. So I just, it's a very interesting thing to look at from a 30,000-foot view.
It is. But that's why, again, I forget things frequently. Greg and I were talking just before the show, and it's like, what is my name?
I'm surprised you remember that conversation.
Who?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. But I think these are important reminders because we all forget. Cassandra on the live stream says, yeah, this applies only if it's someone else in office, not him. Well,
Absolutely.
That's pretty much how he's lived his life, right?
And if he would, he would probably, and if he would absolutely blame Mike Johnson or John Thune, because even though they're in his party, it's never his fault.
Right.
And remember, folks who want to get on the live stream, who want to call and text, who say, well, Donald Trump's amazing, we're winning, because no matter what he does, you can't speak against him. This will affect you directly. All of us.
All of us.
All of us. It
Absolutely.
does not. These shutdowns do not care who you voted for.
No.
Period.
No, they don't.
They affect your services. They affect people's jobs. They affect this country. And it's a bad look for a president to now have he has 2 impeachments, 2 shutdowns. And these are not badges of honor. So please don't look at it like that. Don't see it as we're showing the Dems. You're not. You're showing nobody right now.
And again,
you're making us look like fools.
Well, and this affects everyone.
Yeah.
Every one of us.
Yeah.
As also, because of this now, people are on the ACA, the Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare. Yes, it's the same thing.
Yes.
Though your premiums are going up.
Yep.
And you can thank the Republicans for that.
And right now, Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, wants to paint the narrative as we didn't take the Democrats' deal because they wanted to extend tax cuts for people on ACA, on the exchange, essentially, because their premiums are going to go up even higher than folks who get it traditionally through their workplace. Mike Johnson is painting the narrative of, one, this is a December spending issue in a September timeframe. No, because we are now in October,
right?
Which means there are 3 full months, which means you have a bunch of days off anyways. You're off tomorrow, Congress. I know that for Yom Kippur. Happy Yom Kippur, but they're off tomorrow, which means there are other days they are off. So and then they want to paint it as, well, if the Democrats got their deal, they would be giving health care free to all illegal aliens too, which is not something that happens.
Yeah, that's baloney. And we have a clip that we're going to play on the other side. Yeah, this is not about giving health care to illegal aliens as much as the Republican. And that's what you're going to hear over and over and over again while this shutdown continues. Democrats want health care for illegal aliens. That is not what they're talking about.
No. They're lying to you.
They are essentially, lying.
Yeah, they're lying to you and using
with great alacrity.
Oh,
I know, good word.
Dang, my hair blew back with the height of that college level word. I totally know what that word means.
A lot of speed and grace.
Oh, I like to say fast.
That too. If you would like to join us, 855-752-4842. You can also leave a comment if you're watching on the live stream.
Sorry, 2 impeachments, 2 shutdowns, and an insurrection. Thanks, Cassandra.
That's
on the
quite
live
a resume.
Oh my God, he hates this country so much.
Way to go. We have more on the way. Stay close. You are listening to Matt Nair on Air, coming to you across the Civic Media Radio Network. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Civic Media. Stay up to date on the latest news and information for your local community and Wisconsin by signing up for our free email newsletter. Visit civicmedia.us/email to get started.
Good morning. Welcome back to Matt Nair on Air. Jane Matt Nair, Greg Bach, Sweet Cal B on the board. Coming to you from our studio at Radio Park in Racine. Join us, call or text at 855-752-4842. You can also leave a comment if you're watching on the live stream on Facebook, YouTube, and what used to be Twitter. Our multi-state text to win, go for the green and gold contest is underway. You have until 10 o'clock. Get your phone. Open up the Civic Media app. Text in the word WIND, W-I-N-D. Text in the word WIND. You are in the running for our daily prize, $200 in cash. We could all use that. And gold jewelry. And then the grand prize, everybody's into the grand prize. 2 club-level indoor seats to see Green Bay, Minnesota, November 23rd at noon with a gas card to get you to and from. That's pretty great. Worth $1,550. Text in the word WIND, W-I-N-D. You have until 10 o'clock to text that in. Tom Hartman will have a new word for you in the 11 and 1 o'clock hours. Then Todd Alba from 3 to 4, Maggie Dawn 5 to 6, Pete Schwaba 7 to 8 p.m. WIND, W-I-N-D is the word. We're doing good on the live stream.
We really are.
Yep.
It's really nice.
And the spellings are all, we're hitting
Good
it today.
job, everybody.
I'm really happy to see that.
Yeah.
Before the break, we were talking about the government is now shut down. It shut down about a minute after midnight. The Republicans continue to claim that Democrats want health care for illegal aliens because they want their votes.
And free health care for everyone, really. I mean,
right.
It's just you know,
horrible.
Health care run amok.
So Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, was on with Caitlin Collins from CNN. There was kind of an interesting exchange there. Calvin, can we play that clip, please, from CNN?
We're rolling the greatest hits on our social media.
Yeah, I'm just saying that the point about giving people who are here illegally health care is not exactly what is in their proposal.
No, it is 100% what their
immigrants
proposal
who have legal status, and you're just disagreeing on who's eligible. I looked at it, actually, because I was curious about your argument yesterday.
You should study the CBO's analysis that they just put out a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I saw that about the 1.2 million people. You're basically arguing about who has legal status, people who are seeking refuge here or seeking asylum.
No, I'm making sure that we are making sure in our provisions that we sign into law have ensured that health care benefits go only to eligible U.S. citizens.
Chuck Schumer's proposal.
Federal law was not being enforced. That's the whole point. We had to fine-tune that so that we could strengthen the health care program.
Yeah, no.
That wasn't even the one I thought we were going to play because there's a whole other back and forth they do where he's just lying to her straight out.
Yeah. Democrats were holding out for a deal to restore Medicaid cuts that the big blob of a bill cut on top of a permanent extension of Obamacare subsidies, which will expire at the end of this year.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the Democrats were holding out for.
Yes.
And the Republicans said no.
Yes. And they said no. And instead of being honest to say they do not care about rising premiums or people who need the exchange, they say it's about illegal aliens. I'm using their words right now. It's really undocumented, folks, but they just like to use that word because they're monsters sometimes. They want to use that as their weapon. And able-bodied young men, his words, by the way, Mike John, able-bodied young men who are on Medicaid illegally. These are all lies. These are all lies. They just don't have a better way of saying we don't care about Americans, specifically the ones, not the ones who don't vote for them, because people who vote for them are on these programs.
Yes, they are.
We don't
and
care
Medicaid
about
too.
The middle class and poor Americans who can't give me money. That's what they don't care about.
Yeah, there seems to be this whole kind of almost pleasure with inflicting pain.
I mean, it's
on Americans.
It is absolutely disgusting.
There's another clip, Calvin, from President Trump talking about their shutdown plan. That's the first clip that's on the planner there, Calvin. Can you play that, please?
Today, the president turning up the pressure, now warning he could slash government programs.
We can do things during the shutdown that are irreversible, that are bad for them and irreversible by them, like cutting vast numbers of people out, cutting things that they like, cutting programs that they like.
He even floated the idea of cutting benefits without saying which ones.
We can do things medically and other ways, including benefits.
So they like these things. Let's cut them. You know, there are Republican voters who like these things too.
There are people out there listening to this show who like Donald Trump. This is going to affect you too. I know you think it's only them disgusting libs and undocumented who are going to be suffering, but no, we all are. And I want to just keep going back to something that Jimmy Kimmel said on his show when he came back from his illegal suspension, which was, never has been a president who has reveled in people losing their jobs. On top of that, I'll add losing benefits, he loves it. He bathes in it.
Well, look at how excited they were when Doge first came in. and all the mass firing of all these people. They loved it. Speaking of numbers, by the way, I just want to share this real quickly. The U.S. private sector businesses lost 32,000 jobs in September, far below the expected gain of 51,000. Again, U.S. private sector businesses lost 32,000 jobs in September. And also just a little tag onto this as well. With all of these cuts, and now all of these Americans going to see their ACA premiums skyrocket, Argentina is still going to get its $20 billion.
I'm sure Darren Von Ruden has thoughts about that as well.
I would imagine so. Darren Von Ruden going to be joining us after the 10 o'clock news, so I hope you can stay tuned for that. We do have news coming up next. Don't forget the word to text in for our multi-state text to win. Go for the green and gold contest. WIND. W-I-N-D. Wind is the word. You have until 10 o'clock to get that in. News next, and then we'll talk to Dr. Kristen Lyerly on the other side. Stay close. You're listening to Matt Nair on Air on the Civic Media Radio Network. We'll be right back. Good morning. Welcome to Matt Nair on Air. Jane Matt Nair, Greg Bach, Calvin Butenoff. Coming to you live from our studio here at Radio Park in Racine. You can always join us, call or text at 855-752-4842. Leave a comment if you're watching on the live stream on Facebook, YouTube, and what used to be Twitter. About an hour from now, the segment we call Audio Sorbet, where we take a breath, get away from the news, so we can all try and not lose our minds. So today, Audio Sorbet, we're talking about household chores. Jeez.
Wow.
That scare you. Household chores that scare you. Could be a really little thing. Perhaps pilot lights, but we'll talk about that later. Household chores that scare you. If you're not going to be able to join us next hour, you can text it in right now at 855-752-4842. Speaking of texting in, grab your phone, open up the Civic Media app, text in the word WIND, W-I-N-D. That is our keyword this hour for our multi-state text to win. Go for the green and gold contest. You have until 10 o'clock to text in the word WIND on the Civic Media app. And you are in the running for our daily prize, $200 in cash. Yes, that would be handy. And gold jewelry. And then you're in the running for the grand prize, 2 club-level indoor seats to see Green Bay and Minnesota November 23rd at noon with a gas card to get you there and back. So text in the word WIND, W-I-N-D, WIND. You have to include the D. I saw Lori from Madison sent in WIN. You may want to try that again, Lori. W-I-N-D. Wind is the word. Tom Hartman will have a new word for you coming up after 11 o'clock. She joins us. She's so gracious because I just texted you like an hour and a half ago. So what are you doing at 9:30? What, you want to join us?
Well, you go to your doctor for your checkups. This is our checkup with Dr. Lyerly.
Dr. Kristen Lyerly is here, host of the Dr. Kristen Lyerly Show. How are you, my friend? Thanks for making time for us.
Well, thanks for asking me. And, after the word of the day or of the hour, all I could think was, how do we know it's not wined?
It could be wine.
It could be wine.
It could be wine.
The thing is, I was going to say that, Dr. Lyerly, but I was afraid someone would send in W-I-N-E-D. Like, I got wined last night. Ooh, I love some rosé.
We get some interesting spellings that come in. Yeah. Wind, by the way, is the word, or wind.
Wind.
W-I-N-D, spelled the same, W-I-N-D.
Can I just say one thing?
Just one, and then you're out of here.
Okay. I want to say a lot of things, but I really, really want people to know this. Undocumented folks do not get Medicaid.
Thank you.
I just want everybody in the world to know that. Because
say it again.
Undocumented folks do not get Medicaid. That is the biggest talking point that we're hearing about this government shutdown right now, and it is just patently false.
Yes, it's a
These
lie.
People don't know they're being lied to because they get all their media from one source, and so it's just digging into their fear and all of that, ugliness that divides us. So you can push back by saying undocumented folks don't get Medicaid.
Well, and that's a law.
It's a law.
That's a law.
They just don't.
That they don't get Medicaid. It's a law.
And I'm about to go on.
No, I was just going to say it's a straight up lie. And it's insane how effective it is.
Yes.
Well, and that's the thing too, is I hate to traipse into this world that some people don't really like, which is nuance. But also on the other side of the argument is his pushing that talking point of able-bodied. Now he's saying young men. Now they're saying young men, so they can make it seem like there's a bunch of lazy guys on their mom's couches doing nothing.
Watching TV 6 hours a day.
6.1 hours a day, according to RFK Jr. I don't know how they got that number. But even if you are, quote, able-bodied, that doesn't mean you shouldn't be on. People aren't on Medicaid because they're disabled. They are on Medicaid for various reasons. And if you are able to work, that's fine. But some people can't get a job. There are reasons. So using able-bodied as a talking point is also a misnomer in getting out of the world of nuance. Because some people who are able-bodied because they can't afford it will get into Medicaid. I tried to get on Medicaid when I was younger because I couldn't afford regular health care, and health care through my work was not available. I couldn't get it because I made $9 more than the cutoff. So I just feel like it's this narrative of like, we have lazy people who just won't get a job. Well, that's not the case. You can't just say that. That's not a reason not to give folks tax cuts for their ACA health act, for their health insurance. I just don't like the able-bodied point being used because it's a false narrative. It's not nuanced. It's easy, and people suck it up like they do illegal aliens getting health care.
Well, and I do want to talk about one thing about that aspect of it, Dr. Lyerly, in that if someone who is here undocumented and they go to the emergency room, we do have, it's EMTALA, right? So emergency rooms have to treat people who come in with a broken arm if they come to the emergency room, right? So regardless of status, if they go to the ER, they get treated. Is that accurate?
Well, I don't think that Americans want some sort of a stop sign at the emergency room entrance when they're having a heart attack and have their doctor say, please check in at the front.
Do you have your papers?
And show me your papers. Show me your insurance and prove that you can pay. Show me. Like, there's no time for that. We have an obligation as healthcare providers, as physicians, to take care of people. And when there's an emergency, we treat that emergency. That's not routine preventive healthcare. That's not even routine healthcare. That is literally just putting out fires. But the problem with that is the more people who don't have insurance, and I'm not even talking about undocumented folks, think about all the people who are not going to be able to afford their premiums when they go up by 20% or more, significantly more when they lose their ACA subsidies.
Yep.
All of these folks are not going to have health care. So where are they going to get their health care when they have an emergency? The emergency department. And they're not going to be able to pay for it. So in order for the hospital to eat that up, everybody else's insurance prices are going to go up. So it's going to get more expensive for everybody. And it's already prohibitively expensive.
Yes.
So this is not good for any of us.
Mm-hmm. And we say that repeatedly.
Yeah.
This is an us versus rich. I'm sorry, but it is.
It is.
It's the average folks versus, by the way, during this government shutdown, let's not forget that all of our members of Congress, they get their health coverage is fine.
And they get paid.
And they get paid.
Yeah, not our active duty military, though. They're working without pay.
Yes.
And they have bills, and they have needs, and they have kids.
Yes.
I mean, it is crazy that we pay all this lip service to the military, but then when it comes to actually supporting them with the things that they need to be able to live their lives, our elected leaders, our Republican leaders are like, nah.
Well, and we can talk about that in a minute in regards to the 2 VA centers that just shut down in Wisconsin. We'll get to that in a minute.
Well, and the other thing too is we didn't have this on the list to talk about, or this person, but there was another elegant solution proposed that you should just go to work anyways. Which, if I'm not mistaken, is also illegal. Like, you cannot come into work and not get paid. You have to get paid. You know what I mean? Like I can't, like if I'm furloughed, like I got furloughed when I worked for the city of Racine, I got furloughed. I didn't get paid, by the way, but I also couldn't walk through the door and say, I'll work anyways. I was not allowed to be in the building because it was a furlough day. You can't just say, go and work anyways. First of all, you're saying go work for free. That's not fair. Mm-hmm. Second, I don't think it's legal for you to just walk into your job and say, I'll work anyways. Your boss can't allow you to walk in and work for free. So this elegant solution of just do it anyways, do it for the country. No. That's a contract between you and your employer. And also, yeah, these TSA agents may be working for free. No, they will be working for free and will get reimbursed, hopefully. But we know through the words of this president, he loves firing people. He loves taking things away. And I can see a Republican coming out there saying, we just want you to have done this solid for the government. So we'll get you next time and you won't get your money. Therefore, put your mortgage on your credit card. Put your groceries on your credit card because you're doing it for the country. This is bad. This is really bad.
And we know a lot of our federal agencies already have been hamstrung by the Trump administration with DOGE. So just wait until a natural disaster happens because, there's always one looming. And FEMA does not already have the full capability to respond in an appropriate manner. But now they're going to have even less capability. So people who are suffering, dying, need help are going to be struggling. And then what? Isn't that what the federal government is for? Isn't that the whole purpose of government, is to take care of the people when they can't take care of themselves? That's what I thought.
Only if you're the right people, apparently.
Yeah.
Only if you're the right kind of people, Dr. Lyerly. Like a big donor.
Well, and I have a question for the both of you. Please let me know if I'm crazy about this one. If we got our healthcare system in order, where we made it affordable, accessible, however, made it easier and better for everyone, that would also benefit the rich, wouldn't it? Because it would benefit everybody at the end of the day. I know they have special access to healthcare, or they just have healthcare for everyone because they're rich. But if we just got the country in order with our healthcare system, it really benefits every single person, regardless of your financial status. It's just a better investment for the country. Okay. I just didn't want to feel like I was crazy there.
Right, Dr. Lyerly?
Yes, but now it disproportionately benefits the rich in a big way. For example, I don't know if you saw recently, Jane, I know you mentioned the headline about United Healthcare and one of the big hospitals, Ascension, in Wisconsin, failing to reach a contract by yesterday. So today, people who have United Healthcare and use Ascension hospitals, and a lot of those Ascension hospitals are in places where they don't have alternatives. So that is the only option for them. So now they're out of network. So what do you do if you need healthcare and suddenly that isn't there anymore?
The only hospital that is accessible to you is no longer in your network.
Right. But in the meantime, I just looked this up. United Healthcare reports $3.4 billion in profit in the last quarter and sees 2026 earnings growth. So they actually had to dial back their profit projections for 2025. They're only going to make $9 billion. They were expecting to make more, but they're going to definitely make more in 2026. In the meantime, we can't get health care. People can't get basic health care, and we're dying because of it.
Dr. Lyerly, okay, fine. People can't get health care, and they're dying. That's whatever. I'm saying only $9 billion? What are we doing here, people? I can't get my third private office now because we've made so little money.
Third office, third villa.
Yeah.
Come on, let's be realistic.
I think it's because now I think we live in a society where there's so much information happening out there, and there's so much alliance to a certain side that they can now openly flaunt their not their winnings. I don't want to say that. They can openly flaunt this in our faces, and there's nothing we can do about it because they've bought our Congress, they've bought their way in, and they're the only option. So therefore,
No. There's absolutely something we can do because we are at the point now where the consequences feel real.
Yeah.
So people go to the grocery store. They know that food is more expensive. And that is always the number one thing that people are concerned about.
Yeah.
Cost of living.
Economics.
But now healthcare. Yes. And healthcare is right there too. So we just have to point it out to them. Not in a mean way, but just in an accountability way. Like, this is because of that, because they often don't connect those dots. So that is something we can do.
Lori from Hayward texting in, Donald Trump and his MAGA regime weren't complaining about young men who weren't working when they were actively campaigning for their votes. Huh.
Right?
Lori from Hayward, appreciate that, Lori. We're going to continue our conversation with Dr. Lyerly. Ali, I see you on the line. We'll take you on the other side. Stay with us. You are listening to Matt and Air on Air. This is the Civic Media Radio Network. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Civic Media. Find the latest news, information, and archives of all your favorite shows on the Civic Media website, civicmedia.us.
Good Good morning. Welcome back to Matt Nair on Air. Jane Matt Nair, Greg Bach, Sweet Calby on the board, coming to you from our studio at Radio Park in Racine. You can always join us, call or text or leave a message on the live stream on Facebook, YouTube, and what used to be Twitter. You have a little over 8 minutes to text in the word WIND, W-I-N-D, via the Civic Media app only. WIND, it's part of our multi-state text to win. Go for the green and gold contest. Text in the word WIND, W-I-N-D. It's your chance daily prize, $200 in cash, gold jewelry, and then the grand prize. Everyone who enters is in for that. 2 club-level indoor seats to see Green Bay and Minnesota November 23rd at noon with a gas card to get you there and back. Good luck. Dr. Kristen Lyerly is our guest host of the Dr. Kristen Lyerly Show. Before we went to break, Dr. Lyerly, we were talking about the government shutdown. We were talking about the news about United Healthcare and Ascension Hospitals here in Wisconsin. Ollie from the Northwoods has been hanging on the line. She's been very patient. Good morning, Ollie. Thanks for waiting. What did you want to say about all this?
Well, my thing kind of goes along with this hospital closing. Mike Johnson said that basically the Democrats should just go along with the Republicans and not make a fuss because it was something that could wait until December.
Oh, yeah.
But the average person like me who has to buy that insurance and has to know by the first part of December how much that insurance is going to cost and whether or not we can afford that insurance or afford our medicine or food. We can't wait around. We need somebody to take a stand. And I'm glad the Democrats are doing that for us.
Appreciate that, Ollie. Hang in there. Hang in there, my friend. And thank you for calling.
And something that we were talking about earlier, and I got a little heated, and I made it sound a little dour. There is something, as you said, Dr. Lyerly, we can do, and we can vote. And we've got elections coming up next year. And over the next 13 months and some change, a few days, we're going to see a lot of changes happening because of the big, beautiful, disgusting bill, as well as just other things coming down the pike legislation-wise, the fallout of this shutdown. And really, when it comes down to it, your voice is what you need to use. And while they still allow us to have it with a president who is illegally invading cities because he just thinks they're war zones, we still have a voice to raise. So go to myvote.wi.gov. Find out who your representative is. Tell them what you think about the shutdown, what you think about. I mean, I know that we don't have a lot, like between Ascension and United Healthcare, they're 2 private companies, but just still tell them what you think of these things going on because these affect your wallet. These affect your family. They affect all of us. So myvote.wi.gov. Find out who represents you. Call, email, send them a letter, be respectful, but raise your voice. You still have one.
There was a picture I saw this morning on social media with Tony Weed and Brian Stile and Scott Fitzgerald and Derek Van Orden. All big smiley at the airport. They seem pretty happy about this. So you may want to let them know what you think about this. Another thing, Dr. Lyerly, while we have you, and I don't want to get this to get missed because they're trying to bury this, and I think it's way too important. Republicans refuse to swear in a newly elected Democrat, which means they cannot vote to move on releasing the Epstein files.
Yeah.
This was done very deliberately by Speaker of the House Mike Johnson not to swear in this duly elected representative. She is entitled to be sworn in. Mike Johnson won't do it. So they don't have to address the mess that is the Epstein files that it sure looks like the Republicans want to protect from being released at all costs.
Many of them do appear to be doing exactly that. I don't know how Mike Johnson lives with himself because on the surface, it's, hey, hang in there until December. And I am, with the Jesus crew.
I'm a
Clearly not.
Christian.
And then, right. And then underneath, he's doing all of these terrible, awful things, undermining our health care, not allowing justice to be served. It is using all of these tricks to prevent us from, to not serve the American people.
I don't understand why any of us are surprised. This is the same party who wouldn't fill a Supreme Court vacancy because apparently 9 months was too close to the election. But yet when Ruth Bader Ginsburg had passed away within a week or two, they had someone ready to go. They will do anything they can. As you just said, it's about denying justice for the families who are affected. And that is what makes Mike Johnson and J.D. Vance so dangerous, because where you have Donald Trump, who is yelling and screaming and getting red and sounding like how he sounds, Mike Johnson and J.D. Vance come at it with poise, with cool and confidence, and make it seem like everything they're doing is for a reason, guys. Don't worry about it. What they are doing is just as dangerous, if not more, than what the president is doing. And they're keeping us from having our day of reckoning, which they have been asking for years.
And as far as Mike Johnson goes and some of these so-called Christians, I believe it's called lying for the Lord. And in order to achieve because again, Mike Johnson talks to God. I'm pretty sure he said that. He is here to implement God's will on earth, and you got to do a little lying for that to happen, Kristen. I think God will forgive that.
But, they have a captive audience and they make it existential for their audience. So you almost can't blame the people who are getting this message because they just don't know anything else. It's all they're seeing and hearing. And that's why it's incumbent upon us as people in the world to have these conversations, not in a confrontational way, but in a way that we can actually talk about the things that we care about, the issues. Don't make it about finger pointing. Make it about how can we make the world better for all of us.
Cassandra, great comment on the live stream. Check out the new book, Separation of Church and Hate, by John Fugel, saying he is fantastic. Great explanation of how these folks have hijacked Christianity. Dr. Kristen Lyerly, check out her show, Weekends, the Dr. Kristen Lyerly Show. Thank you so very, very much, my friend. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you, friends. Have a great rest of your day.
You too. Stay with us. News is next, and then we're talking tariffs and the farmer bailout with Darren Von Ruden. That's all on the way on the Civic Media Radio Network.
The national news cycle never stops, but it can be hard to find news about your local community. Civic Media is dedicated to providing quality local and state news coverage across Wisconsin. With the Civic Media app, you can get notifications about local stories that matter to you and your community. Find the free Civic Media app in your phone's app store and choose notifications from the menu to tell us what kind of news you want to hear about.